Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel Umstead, host of the RNG radio show. Really excited, really thrilled. I got another colleague that's in the real estate business. We're trying to tell y'all something here, folks. But I got another colleague who is in the real estate investment, the one, the only Brad Shepard with Sugarhouse Investments. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Daniel. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, listen, man, pleasure's all mine. I'm just so glad you're able to get out of your commercial real estate business and be able to talk to me, which brings us into a great segue. Tell us a little about Sugarhouse Investments and how can people get in contact with you in regards to it?
Right, sure. Happy to do that. So, I've been involved in real estate for the last 20 years, primarily focused on residential, though, interspersed with some commercial projects along the way. About 4 years ago is when we created Sugarhouse Investments, focused primarily, exclusively on commercial real estate opportunities. And what we do at this point is we work with passive investors to expose them to opportunities with large commercial syndication investment opportunities, primarily in apartment complexes, mobile home parks, and self-storage units. And so we partner with a handful of operators in those asset classes, and then we present to our investors these opportunities as essentially pre-vetted, hassle-free real estate investment opportunities for them to consider.
Okay, awesome. Now, you mentioned that you've been doing real estate for a while. Why did you make the switch from like residential to commercial?
Yeah, again, it's been a long pathway. I built up my own rental portfolios and did some commercial development. When we moved to Texas about 10 years ago, we started doing more active elements like fix and flips and wholesale, and it just wasn't us. To be honest, I really didn't enjoy picking out the tile and babysitting contractors and the carpet and paint colors and all those elements that go into those more active elements, and just building up the rental portfolio of the 1, 2, 3, 4 unit deals. Those we've done well with those, but it's slow. It is a slow build. And so as far as what can we do more actively and more quickly to build the lifestyle and the cash flow that we're looking to do, commercial answers those elements for us. And we were able to find our little, and I say we, meaning my wife and me, so it's a family endeavor, but we were able to find this niche in the commercial space that really plays to our strengths. I love talking about commercial real estate. My wife is a CPA. She loves running numbers. And so it just became, for us, it was attractive as a more more of a business as opposed to, the hands-on elements that come with the active single family residential activities, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. Now, because I know people are making the switch, those that may have been in real estate for oh so long, or even those that just heard of multifamily, it's like, hey, can I be on board? Can you give us your contact information as far as how folks can learn more about Sugarhouse Investments? In addition, can you tell us what your ideal client is that should be checking out Sugarhouse Investments?
Sure. Yeah. So the best place to connect with us is on our website, which is just our name, sugarhouseinvestments.com. And I do like to hang out on Twitter as well. I'm at Brad Shep on Twitter. There's a lot of great real estate discussions happening there as well. So certainly happy to connect with people there too. So in the commercial syndication space, primarily, these are opportunities that are available to accredited investors. There's some reasons for it. There's maybe some good rationale. Sometimes I feel a little bit frustrated by it because in many scenarios it is the rich getting richer, but those thresholds are there for a reason. Accredited investor means basically you either have at least $1 million net worth or you're making a couple $100,000 a year, and that's who by SEC guidelines those are the individuals who have access to these types of private investments. And so generally, these are folks who are already doing well in whatever endeavor they're doing, be it doctors, dentists, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and they're looking to place investment dollars in real estate without having to become landlords or flippers. So that said, that's the vast majority of the deals, but they're only available to accredited investors, and that's who I spend the bulk of my time with. Though we have a handful of deals every year that are available to non-accredited investors. And so for those who are listening who don't quite yet meet that accredited definition, definitely worth staying in touch if these are opportunities that would be of interest to an individual. We can certainly discuss those, and when those non-accredited opportunities arise, we can talk about those. It is simply placing investment dollars at work. And so you do have to have a little bit of a war chest to be able to deploy here. So most of the deals, they have a $25,000 minimum or a $50,000 minimum. So it does take some capital to play with to participate in this world as a passive investor.
Okay, awesome. Now, as far as when it comes to it, because I know some people may be listening like 25,000, I don't have that. Do you still like work with groups who can put together, let's say they have a group LLC that does put together $30,000. Can you work with those types of individuals?
Absolutely. And we actually do. So it comes back to those same definitions. So if it's a deal that's only available to accredited investors and a group of people want to come together to invest under an entity, they can do so, but everybody in that entity would have to be accredited. So it would still be, okay, if it's just simply a matter of coming up with enough cash, then yes, a group of individuals could pool their money together, create an LLC, and even if they're not accredited, then that LLC could invest in one of our deals that's open to non-accredited investors. And we do have folks that do that. So that's certainly an opportunity to get access to these deals if it's a matter simply of coming up with enough capital.
Okay, I love that. So I just want to be clear with the audience so they understand this. There's two pathways which can be done. Being a non-accredited, where it's just you yourself, or getting a group of you to become an LLC to be considered accredited, or the other pathway, you are already that accredited investor. So it pretty much just applies to everyone that has the mindset and that goal, and of course, the funding for it to get to that next level. So again, right. Brad, they're gonna need the website so they can go straight there. What is that website one more time for us so they can just stop this whole interview, not even looking or listening. They're just going straight to the website.
Go, go, go. Buy now, buy now, buy now. Sugarhouseinvestments.com.
Love it, love it. And now for those individuals who maybe have been working a while, maybe not even so much the doctors or lawyers, but these teachers who have, and bless their hearts, especially with the brand new school year, who may be having IRAs that have built up over for a long time. Do you work with those individuals who maybe have direct IRAs that could possibly potentially invest with you?
Yes, that's we work with, man, I'd say the majority of our investors are doing so through self-directed IRAs. My wife and I both, we've both built up our IRAs over time, for some previous 401ks, put them into self-directed IRAs, and those dollars are in these types of syndications. So definitely we can do that. We welcome it. I think it could be news to a lot of people that you can use your IRA to invest in apartment complexes. Most people think you place it with the Fidelity and Schwab and buy some mutual funds and that's all you can do. But there's a lot of opportunities you can do with an IRA custodian called a self-directed custodian that will allow you to do more than just mutual funds like real estate. So certainly I welcome those conversations too. There's there can be some tax considerations, but that's something we can talk through and we can connect with the appropriate professionals. But yes, we see that as a great tool for our own self-directed IRAs for sure.
Love that, love that. Now, and you also talked about a term earlier with passive investing. Some people who may still be going through YouTube University might still be wondering or still looking up that definition. Could you give me the comparison as far as the difference between passive investing and active investing?
Yes. So, everything I've talked about so far has been more focused on those who want to participate passively. And that means, again, not wanting to deal with the tenants, not wanting to deal with the toilets and picking out paint colors and those kinds of things. That does become a passive investor. You have to have some dollars already pulled together somehow, whether that's a group or you've been done well in other endeavors. But, we all start somewhere. And so, that can be done on the active side. So whether that's going to be, you want to be active on the single family fix and flips or building up your own portfolio of 1, 2, 3, 4 unit deals, perfect. You can participate there. That means, you put in your own hustle, build up your net worth over time. That's a great way to do it. I went that route. In my 20s and 30s was accumulating those assets and accumulating that net worth so that I can invest passively now. And so then those active opportunities exist on the commercial side as well. And commercial is a really broad definition. It's basically anything 5 units and above, or it could also apply to office and retail space. And the lending guidelines are actually more favorable to commercial loans. And so if somebody who wants to be an active player, they don't want, passive is about just putting dollars on the table with another operator who they're going to execute the business plan. But if you want to be the one who executes the business plan, yeah, it's just a matter of finding the deals, pulling together the financing, the team that's going to operate it, and the investors that are going to help you get that over the finish line. And so it's just a matter of where you're at in life, what your interests are, and do you want to just put dollars on the table with somebody else to go execute the plan, or do you want to be the guy to go source the deals, put the team together, and be actively involved in managing the daily operations or the business plan for that asset?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Just want to wrap up here, and this is a surprise question I typically ask all of my guests. What is your favorite piece of advice or a quote that you live by that gets you motivated on a day-to-day basis?
I'm thinking of, when you say quote, the first thing that pops into my mind is whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're correct. And I think that gets most often attributed to Henry Ford. I don't know if that's accurate or not. My little 5-year-old and I have been talking about that one a lot lately. Sometimes you see little kids that get down on themselves. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I love, having those mindset discussion opportunities. And it's a good reminder for me as a much older individual. There's so many pathways and there's so many resources available. If you think you can do it, you can do it. And if you think you can't, it's just not going to happen. And so just get that mindset right, go take some action. Great resources like this that are available to help individuals know where to start, people that can reach out to, can connect with. There's just so many opportunities right now in so many different avenues that, we couldn't even dream of 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago. And so, just get that mindset right and take some action today.
Beautiful. Well, Brad, I want to thank you again so much for the time you spent being on the RNG radio show. Definitely looking forward to have you back on the show. Let us know about any additional opportunities. But in the meanwhile, folks, I just need you to stop what you're doing. You should have been stopped what you're doing. Go to sugarhouseinvestments.com. Check out my friend, Brad Shepard, so you can get in contact with them so you can expand either passively or actively in commercial real estate. Brad, thanks again for being on the show, and I'll be talking with you soon.
Hey, thanks a lot, Daniel. Really appreciate the opportunity. Enjoyed it.